Chapter 3 Under a Dead Ohio Sky. I returned from another multi-week trip around the country as the summer of 2018 transitioned into autumn. I had one more lawn mowing to complete before the leaves fell and made way for a snow-covered Ohio winter. That night, however, my mind was elsewhere. It was cold, dark, and lonely at my house that evening. Depression always hit me hardest when I began to feel the bleakness of a coming winter. The drugs helped, but the sadness always broke through. The solitude in my house that year was comforting and enjoyable, but it was also lonely. I knew, by that September, that I needed to make a change. I had already decided to extend my travel plans from just the summer to an indefinite period. My next step was to end all the security and comfort to which I was accustomed. I loved my house. I had spent 6 years creating an environment exactly as I wanted within my walls. I knew that if I didn't let go of my home, I would never fully spread my wings. The monthly house payment and bills were more than I could justify spending now that I was home only a week or two total out of each month. I felt the freedom of being jobless. I imagined more freedom without the couple $1,000s of bills each month. I imagined how I would feel when I let go of the house I loved more than any other material item in my life. I imagined warm locations in winter. I imagined a life of unfamiliarity and new opportunities. I had begun to get a handle on navigating the online world, the drug world, and the geographic world, all of which became my new life in 2018. I saw new possibilities on the horizon. I knew, just from all I had experienced, that there was so much more out there. I thought about a lot of things that night. I did drugs as I interacted online. I had many shared dynamics. Sometimes someone would fall out of communication. Sometimes it took months. Other times, I would only be in contact with an online partner for a day or two. I had long-term dynamics, just a few, which began back when I first found the online world the previous winter. I had extremely close sexual dynamics lasting for weeks and months. Some dynamics were more loving and genuinely mutual caring. Some dynamics were specific and sex-based. Some dynamics fell off fast for no reason at all. Ghosts and memories replaced new interactions. Newfound dynamics replaced ghosts and memories. What filled me up inside also left me lonely and empty. I was live streaming on the website that evening. I was taking a break from a downward spiral of thinking. My thoughts, like the sky that night, began to darken as the evening progressed. I caught myself slipping. I began the live stream and I reset my brain while I appeased my online website audience. When I turned off the camera a bit later, the negative thoughts began to creep back in. I began throwing out lines as the loneliness grew more pervasive. I checked some of my unread messages on the website from that evening. I copied and pasted a single message reply to anyone within a few hours' drive, anyone who had sent me a message of compliments or requests to meet me. I was calling anyone out on their messages. I sent my cookie-cutter message to the first wave of 10 or so people from the evening who messaged me. The message was basic and to the point. Hi, pleasure to interact. If you're free tonight, I'd be happy to see you. I don't mind the drive. Let me know. Some messages went unanswered, or they weren't seen by the recipients. Some replies weren't what I was looking for. One reply from those first of my attempts to meet that night caught my attention right away. I looked at the sender's profile on the site. The woman was 19 years old. She lived in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus was 2.5 hours from my house. The girl's message back to me was more to the point than my message to her. It was only one word. She simply told me, yes. After my new Columbus friend texted back and forth with me for a few minutes, the girl asked me to make her a video showing my face and body. I told her I would as I got in the shower, and I asked her to reciprocate. I sent my video, I took my shower, and I watched the video she made for me once I had dried off. My new friend sent me a video that was 15 seconds long. She stood naked in front of a bathroom mirror. Her accent was strong. It was African. Her skin was a smooth, deep brown. Her body was petite. Her black hair was shaved down short to her head. I dressed quickly and headed out. I texted my new friend as I drove down to Columbus. My loneliness had been cast aside. I was filled with anticipation. My friend had arrived from Uganda on an aerospace engineering scholarship 2 years prior. She was a junior at Ohio State. She booked a hotel room for the two of us that night. She sent me the hotel information. It was in Hilliard, just outside of Columbus. I typed the location into my GPS. I stopped at a gas station when I was 10 minutes from the hotel. I texted my location to my new friend. She texted me her room number. I was naive and hopeful. I picked up some powdered donuts and milk for our breakfast the next morning. I got back in my car and hit another hot rail before I pulled out of the gas station. I just pulled into the parking lot. The door's unlocked. I just got out of the shower. I'm in the bathroom drying off. Leaving the cold and loneliness outside, I stepped into the hotel room. It was midnight. The drive from the Toledo area ate into the night. In a loud voice, I announced that I had food for breakfast in the morning. I got no reply. I spoke across the empty room to the bathroom. Hello? My friend walked out of the bathroom in a towel. I locked the bolt to the hotel door behind me. The girl smiled and dropped the towel. The two of us approached each other. We kissed as we stood in front of the bed. The girl began undressing me as we kissed. She bounced onto the bed to sprawl out naked before me. After blowing down hot reels of meth all day, I was at a crossroads. My friend wanted me inside her at once. I knew the drugs necessitated foreplay to allow me to get hard. I thought of a solution. For the next 20 minutes, I made love to her between her legs with my lips and tongue. I felt no loneliness after I satisfied my new friend. I told my friend I was going to the soda machine down the hall to get us some drinks. I dressed and stepped out of the room. I put money in the machine and walked back to the hotel room with 2 drinks in my hand. When I walked back into the hotel room, my friend was still naked, lying on the bed and catching her breath. I opened her soda for her and handed it to her. She took a big drink from the bottle and looked at me incredulously. I smiled. My friend smiled back and shook her head as she managed to stand up from the bed. My friend kissed me again as she walked by me to step into the bathroom. I took my clothes off except my boxer shorts and sat back on the bed. And that's when I felt the night's vibe shift to a weird space. A confused look crossed my face as my friend walked out of the bathroom fully dressed. What's going on? I need to go back down to the front desk. There's an issue with my payment. I continued to look at her, confused. They called me while you were out getting drinks. I maintained the look of confusion. My friend hadn't moved when I was out getting drinks. The phone was on the table away from the bed. The wet spot from my friend's orgasm was still under her butt and between her legs when I came back in with the drinks. Do you want me to go down with you to the desk? My friend insisted it wasn't necessary, and she was going to go clear up the issue on her own. She grabbed her bag and told me in her thick accent that she would be back soon. She walked out. I sat there on the bed next to the wet spot. 10 minutes went by. I texted to see if everything was all right. 5 more minutes passed. My phone vibrated. I looked at the text from my new friend. I had to go. I'm on my way back to my house now. The room's paid for. Feel free to stay the whole night. The cold and loneliness were then again with me in the room. It was just me, my empty feelings, and a wet spot.